The chemical industry is one of the most important industries in Europe. At the same time, it is also one of the most transport-intensive industries. The bulk of chemical transportation in Central and Eastern Europe is currently being carried out on the road. Road transportation is better equipped to just-in-time deliveries as it is quick and easy. However, it is less safe and much more environmentally harmful. The future of chemical logistics therefore lies in multimodal transportation. While this mode of transport requires more strategic planning and communication, it saves a significant amount of CO2, helping to meet the EU emissions targets. Saxony-Anhalt and the project ChemMultimodal are trying to address just that. Since 2016, 14 project partners from Germany, Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, Italy and Slovakia have been working together. The project aim is to encourage transport logistics companies to collaborate with the chemical industry to promote multimodal transport. 7 pilot projects were used to analyze in detail how the developed toolbox can support the modal shift of chemical goods.
In the first work package, we developed the toolbox to promote multimodal transport. This toolbox consists of 4 elements, which are the planning guidelines, the consulting services, the CO2 calculator and an IT visualization.
Numerous workshops and discussions with chemical companies and logistics service providers were used to test the developed toolbox elements in practice.
During the project's pilot phase, 2 of these elements turned out to be particularly useful, namely the CO2 calculator and the IT visualization. We used the CO2 calculator to determine the CO2 emissions which can be saved by using multimodal transport. The IT visualization, which is based on an intermodal links planner, has been used to identify and plan potential routes that can be shifted to multimodality.
During the pilot phase, project partners analyzed to what extent planning tools influence a company's decision regarding the modes of transport of chemical goods. The aim was to shift at least 10% of the original road transportation onto previously identified multimodal transport routes in Europe, thereby saving 5% of CO2 emissions.
We are very satisfied with the results reached at the European level. 58 companies have been actively involved in the pilot project. 40 routes have been deeply analyzed and tested, and about 138 million of ton kilometers were shifted from road to transport, and about 7,600 CO2 emissions have been saved.
Following the successful pilot phase, further regional workshops and individual consultations are going to be implemented in the future. These and other activities were drawn up by the project partners within the regional action plans in order to promote the multimodal transport of chemical goods.
The partners have developed the action plans to continue cooperation in the future. They want to promote multimodal transport, they want to influence policies. And in Saxony-Anhalt, for instance, the chemical cluster will coordinate the work. We will organize a workshop in October in the chemical park in Schkopau, and together with the Ministry of Transport we influence the logistic concept.
The company Lineas was actively involved in the pilot phase and furthermore contributed to the knowledge exchange. Lineas has had long-term experiences with rail freight transport.
Lineas, the former government-owned B-Cargo is meanwhile privatized. That's why the name Lineas. And we have one unique select proposition, and that's being in one enterprise at the same time an RU, but also an intermodal operator. We can bundle conventional rail transportation together with intermodal wagon groups, and there we connect chemical centers of gravity all over Europe. A very nice example is what we do meanwhile since 1.5 years. So we connect the chemical cluster of Antwerp, which is also the global gateway to Europe, to the chemical cluster here in central Germany. And so we drive there 5 times a week this train dedicated for all the chemical customers, but also intermodal partners, and so we give access to also these not or less than block train volumes for intermodal and conventional, and that's key success factor in that.
The project partners are committed to support eco-friendlier and safer transport of chemical goods in Europe, even after the ChemMultimodal project has been completed.